ECS. We have G2 on the CT side of Nuke, FaZe on the T side, and pretty standard as far as utility is concerned, more or less for both teams. Although MBK opting for the HE diffuse, so the smoke diffuse, and a fast play from Carrigan. Ooh. I think the CT's slightly jumped down.
Blockerino. Ooh, Carrigan, you can't stand there, sir. Looking to main. Oh, okay, body's behind the vent. That is interestingly awkward. Bomb's getting planted somewhere. Even I'm not sure where the bomb's getting planted.
This is so confusing, isn't it?
I have no idea where the bomb's being planted. I assume it's the A site.
It's lower, I think. Yeah.
Oh, it is lower. Okay. All right then. Well, Shox he found himself alone, and now he's dead.
A cool plant spot. You don't really ever see that spot there.
That's the bar off plant spot. Because you have to face the wall to defuse the bomb. So you can't, you could be in control, for example.
It's nice.
It might be too far on the right for control, I don't know, but you could be in control and they have their back to you. It's like the Dust 2 default plant on the beach.
Nice.
But obviously it's more exposed. I mean, if you have control of vents and control double doors, then it's safe to plant there, otherwise you're going to have some problems.
Put the Eagles out here for G2, so FaZe will have to be careful, have to run that anti-force bite. FaZe just going straight down secret at the moment, going really quick as 4 players, sorry, leaving one lurk around lobby, outside lobby. So pretty standard stuff there. Kenny is doing a bit of damage, but lots of players if FaZe, they're going to get the bomb back and promptly clean up the rest of the round. So, rounds like that can often go very badly, but that was really smooth from FaZe.
Interestingly, I think NBK went for... NBK didn't buy, but Kenny bought. So NBK's got money for an AWP, but Kenny hasn't. Let's see how that plays out in the next round. USPs. Only USPs here for G2, so this might be a brief round. And with Deagles in that previous round, I do wonder if G2 will just storm, expecting more or less USPs, maybe the odd 2 PC50. But this round should not give them much cause for concern. Oh dear. Apex. Silencerless Apex. Probably the rarest sound in CSGO. Is there still a dog in Inferno apps? That's not gonna be as rare as the unsilenced USP. But anyway, indeed NBK will drop the AWP for Kenny. And it's going to be Kenny with the grenades rather than NBK. So that's a weird turn of events. Who knows if that's deliberate or not.
It'll be fun to see what he does outside. If he'll play passively to start off with or try to get a bit aggressive. I wonder if also FaZe are going to throw these smokes every single time. Another wall for Carrigan to just run down. And okay, does he realize just yet that he has a lot of players coming his way? He is spraying all the bullets, has 7 left. He really needs a reload at this point. He will get the reload in the nick of time because here come the T's from FaZe. Barreling down into the ramp area, MBK falling back promptly. Ooh, Kinius does catch one, but a very fast headshot from Kiyoshima with that UMP. No helmet, I think, on Kenny. Yes, that's the problem. Great positioning from Shox, though. And he's going to be able to pick up a couple frags here, stopping this push down to the lower site. Just Nico left now. The bomb needs to be recollected.
He's got 1 minute with which to play with, but it can take a while to change up your position on Nuke especially. And it's hard to do it without giving some sounds away, so he'll walk straight back into the site. Shox will have the superior angle, and there we go. In terms of, I have a question for you, Anko, as somebody who is an AWPer. On a team, is it fair to say that ideally, as far as throwing grenades is concerned, that AWPer's the last person you want throwing grenades? Like you just want him with his AWP on?
In what sense? Like
just in the general scenario. Because I feel like ideally you just want your AWPer AWPing as much of the time as possible, as opposed to having anything else out.
I mean, I agree, but still, it's not. You're always going to be able to. I mean, throw a smoke if a smoke is necessary for an execute.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess more on the CT side. Because
Well, on the CT side, yeah, he's mostly gonna ult. It also depends on the map. Sometimes if you need like a help with a smoke, then he can do it, but usually he's just holding something. As the hold for G2 falls apart in this round, James. Great yard take from FaZe. They were able to isolate G2 players. Now Apex alone in a 1v4 dies to Nico, who gets a triple kill in this round. Very interesting way, in a very good way for FaZe to apply pressure towards Yard, and as I said, they were able to isolate G2's players. G2 wasn't able to establish any crossfires, they just challenged one by one, and that's their economy being completely reset by FaZe here.
It doesn't get much worse than this. Such an early reset. Forced by best gun really is the Mag 7, I suppose, for Deagles. The Deagles weren't successful last time, largely just due to the FaZe running pretty much everybody down lobby. They left, Secret, they left one person in lobby. Kania's not in position there, able to catch Carrigan, actually headshots him from below as well.
that's an awesome angle.
And that's kind of a problem. Poor Carrigan, he's yet to get a frag actually, I think. The rest of his teammates have all collected an ample amount of frags, especially Rain on 10 at the moment. Doing quite well already, and MBK able to find the player lurking in lobby, so ooh, now things get bad. Now things get quite awkward here for FaZe. They start to wonder what would have happened should they had just have run their anti-force by round, the first one, which was very, very successful. Very successful.
Exactly, and they had less resources in that round than they do now. Now, for some reason, they just decide to spread around the map, and they get punished by the Deagles of G2. I mean, the round is still not over. There's still a chance for FaZe to recover, but it's a very, very slim chance. You would expect a team as experienced and skilled as G2 to not give openings to FaZe. Probably going to even let them plant the bomb and then just go for the retake together.
As the time runs out, the net will close around them, and it's going to be really hard to plant the bomb. It's pretty much guaranteed at this point for the CTs, but indeed, they're not in the best position to stop the bomb plant. That is a perfect grenade, absolutely perfect. So many angles, and now Alu is on his own. The numbers game, they're lining up. Oh my god, they could have lost. They all lined up like they were queuing for sandwiches. Oh, if there's one way to lose a round in a 5 versus 2, that would probably be it.
Damn. If he had more bullets, I think he ran out of bullets actually. If he could have continued that spray, maybe he could win the round for his team. But yes, a very that's what I meant when I said that FaZe can still be a little bit sloppy in their play. For example, this should have been a more or less straightforward round for them. Then G2 would be forced to another reco, and FaZe would potentially be up 6-1 with a still not optimal buy for G2. But this way, it's 4-2, and they are still going to have a difficult task ahead of them to regain control of the economy completely and force G2 on Nico.
Standard procedure for the CTs at the moment. We've got a player in secret, which is Shox. It was a time where we saw him often shoulder peeking, waiting for the... Oh no, it's not Shox, it's Kenny.
Shox is dead, James.
Yeah, indeed. Maybe he
Shox
wishes he was in that area. Kenny playing close. I love AWP at close range. Oh dear. To blacken his scope. Obscured the vision of Alu, and the problems continue for G2.
It's another round where they just walk outside and try to win the battles, and they're successful the second time. Obviously, the funny thing is that they tried it against Eagles, and that's the only time they were unsuccessful. But G2 still have a couple. Well, just one player left alive now. Apex, perhaps looking to try to get some damage, but of course, this is going to be a pretty nasty reset once again for them. I don't know how much they'll have left. Obviously, they did win a round where they just had Eagles. But
so to build on that a little bit, the difference between doing it in a gun round and an anti-force buy round is that when your opponent's force buy, obviously that means they're not going to have good weaponry, maybe not even an AWP, an M4, mostly pistols, couple of SMGs, shotguns, not all the grenades either. So you don't need to risk giving away 1v1 fights, long range perhaps against the Deagles. You can just group up, force your way in, use your utility to clear those close corners where the SMGs, pistols, and the shotguns might even have an advantage over your rifles, and win the round that way. While on the gun rounds, you are trying to gain map control. The AK has the advantage over the M4 long range, in a duel especially, so...
It's happening again, isn't it? One by one. FaZe are getting wrecked by a very basic buy. And there goes Alu. I think these players need to bunch together what's left of them. I mean, this is pretty much a USP round for G2. I think there might have been one P250 or something, but yeah, there's one onto Apex. But yeah, Carrigan charging towards the ramp. Sometimes it can be hard to spray down a player who's just running all over the place. Hard to keep track of them and put your recoil control in the right position. But I think when that happens early, I don't know, I mean, it's a tough spot. Kenny's got an AWP and NBK's got the, oh dear. Rain can only hope that Kenny doesn't shoot him in the smoke, but how does he get out of the smoke? He has a flash, but he'll just run out easy for Rain. NBK coming from the secret position. See Kenny trying to bait. That is a great burst from Rain, and now it's on Kenny. Kenny's got no Kevlar in this situation. This is so awkward. Lovely play from Kenny, but he's got no kit either, and Rain must know that. Damage done though, once again by G2. Far more damage than they should do.
That PGL 2v2 tournament paying off for FaZe yet again. Rain and Eco in a 2vx situation managed to save FaZe here. They were very, very close to losing that round, but Rain with a beautiful 1v2 to close it out. Another gun round now. FaZe has been actually very dominant in these rounds. We can see 3 FAMASes and double op on G2. Nico on the other side had a good spawn, tries to get a pick early on, doesn't find anything. Kenny on the other hand does get the kill on Rain.
Bit of damage onto Nico, nice grenades. And the double up is a curious one. I'm curious how this will pan out for the G2 side. Carrigan walking out there from the door, finding the head of MBK. That's not good news here, and smoked off is the main area. Bomb is down for now, but the FaZe players do make progress here. They're flooding into the upper site. Just the 2 AWPers left. The smoke should soon dissipate on main as Shox is ready to go for the peak, but he will not be able to. Forced away by the flames. And the bomb is now planted. Very hard to get back in onto this bomb site now. It's going to take some fortunate timing and some quick snaps, perhaps, from both Kenny and Shox. But if there's anyone to do it, it would be them, I'm sure.
They were the representatives of G2 in that 2v2 tournament, actually the winners. As we see Nico chase them down, gets a kill on Shox. Kenny has very, very low. Nico knows that he's waiting for him, and the shoulder peak does not save his life. But will Kenny be able to save his own? That smoke is going to buy him some time, but FaZe, that nade only leaves him on 5 points of health. Kenny realizes he needs to peek. They're chasing him down, and Keo does find him in the end.
I think Kenny accidentally blocked Shox when he was watching for the peak.
One important thing there in that round, I think the main player was afraid to cross towards the site because they heard Nico's scope in Squeaky. That's why the nade came in as well. And because of that, Kerrigan was allowed to simply walk out of Squeaky. He catches MBK on the upper bomb site, and that pretty much gives FaZe the opening as they rush towards the upper bomb site. Finally, they group up in the anti-eco round then.
Yeah, the Deagles can't really do much against this. Bomb will go down. Pistolers will be slowly but surely all but eliminated. All eliminated.
Telling you, man, high explosive grenades are back in fashion.
The variance on them is so huge. Sad times, it's sad times.
The problem for G2 here is that in gun rounds, they're basically just getting picked apart. They're losing duels, they're losing fights. It's not that FaZe has gone for some sort of an execute where everything's done perfectly and G2 is just out positioned. Maybe if they're losing fights so much, maybe they should not take them and try a more passive playstyle, give away a bit of map control to FaZe, try to get a good read where FaZe wants to go and establish some strong crossfires, which is not optimal, but I mean, if you're gonna keep losing duels, there's not much point in taking them.
Shox will hear Nico running down into Secret, but that is nothing unusual for Nuke. Apex on the low ground, it seems, waiting to receive any people there. And in the meantime, seems FaZe trying to capitalize by pulling players out of position. Not working though. Body holding down the A bomb site. He's got quick support there. Apex charging up the vents. And that is a 5 versus 1 situation for Nico. So let's see what he can do now. He's got over a minute on the clock. 4 players to find. He's not in control of the bomb.
Surely not, Jay.
G2 will try to surround the bomb, but also cover the positions that he might try to encroach from.
You see, this is a great example of how the idea from FaZe was great. It actually even worked, but the execution was just slightly off. You see how they faked going for secret control, and that did force the rotation from Apex. And actually, the sole player on the upper bomb side initially was Kenny with body, but Rain did not really see him on rafters, and he was shot, and just that one kill, that one missed opportunity from Rain was enough for G2 to rotate back into the upper bomb set and stop the push altogether. With those types of executes, you really have only a small amount of time to get that opening. Otherwise, the CTs are going to realize what's up, as we're going to see probably a main push here. Is Rain going? They're going to be flashed into the smoke. Shox blinded by the second flash. Unfortunate for him, but Rain again with the entry kill. Him and Nico have been going off this half.
17 kills already. That's pretty scary. Nico right behind him. So Kenny's just scanning outside now. BK there as well, looking to take those 1v1s, and Rain will finally fall. But there is the trade from Nico. Seems quite reliable. Again, as you highlighted, just winning these 1 versus 1s outside, and 4 versus 3 now as FaZe start to move towards lobby, towards Heart. We see Carrigan there harassing. He's got himself a forward. Is that supposed to be a smoke? Yes, a smoke there in front of the Heart position, trying to obscure Apex, but Apex still has a gap to work with, and Body has the crossfire set up, and it's going to work perfectly there between Apex and Body. They will crush the push that Nico left, and he was shot in the side as well, leaving nothing left for FaZe. 4 to 8, a round picked up by G2, but still, it feels as though there's not really been the adaptation that perhaps you necessarily like just yet.
It has not been, but a great read from G2 in that 3v4 situation. They decide to gamble and put all of their remaining players on the upper bomb site. That's where FaZe went in the end, and they did get crushed. It does seem like FaZe is using Nico and Rain just as the hitman duo towards Yard. They just, in the default, try and find tips, and they've been doing a great job of finding them so far.
Rain and Co rushing into the A bomb site. They may have heard Apex go down eventually. He's got all of 5 HP and now he's gone. And it's another wipeout for G2. 2 players remaining and there are 2 rounds to go. So there are questions to ask as to what they want to do here. You see MBK's got no money. Kenny's got some cash to drop though. Might be that MBK tries to hide in plain sight. Maybe try and pick some plays off. I think 2 versus 5 is somewhat unreasonable for this team to go for. So again, I think NBK's in that hide in plain sight mode. He can offer some support for his teammate, but not fast enough, unfortunately. AWP lost for now, and it's looking pretty difficult for G2. No one surviving this round. 9-4 in favor of FaZe.
I'm not sure if it's preparation before the game or actually realizing it while the game is going on, but FaZe seems to have figured out G2's rotations perfectly. You can see how they draw some attention towards that outer area of the map, Yard / Secret, and they have found out that G2 actually leaves the upper bomb site weak, and there's usually just one player holding it when they lose control of Yard, and as you see, Shox get the kill on Nico, and they just decide to explode on the upper bomb site. They got the kills, won the round, but now I was going to say G2 find their way back into this, but 2 quick kills from Rain and Carrigan make it a 3v3 situation. Yet again, double up still in play. Apex holding from that when still gets punished by Carrigan.
There is going to be the plants there from Kishima on the lower site in the corner again. And we have G2 making their way in, and Shox is on the orb. Smoke thrown into the position of Kiyashima. Actually, he gets doesn't go through the door though. It's a slight gap, but he's coming in. Easy frag for Kiyashima, just waiting, just in front of the bomb. Another smoke there in front of the door, and Shox will get sprayed down as well, or rather actually finish off with the HE. Very, very easy situation there for FaZe in that 2v2 once they got the bomb down. G2 didn't really seem to know how to handle that one, and that's going to be 10 rounds for FaZe. And all they have to do now is just play against Eagles. Although, it seems like that's one of the more troublesome rounds for them.
Yeah, let's see what their approach is. It's been a monster half for FaZe, a monstrous half. Will it be another fast play? Kishima showing his legs, but he will be delivering slightly more damage. And now there's a push from the CTs. Carrigan's got to be careful, doesn't want to get picked off again. In the meantime, his team are doing some damage elsewhere, but now Rain and Carrigan are both heavily tagged, so this could turn around. Shox has the bomb to his left, so the T's have got to come to him, and he's picked up an AK. Obviously, he's got full armor. Nico, sharper on the trigger finger today, it seems, will finish things off and keep close to Rain. Nico with 18 kills, sorry, Rain with 20. Looking unstoppable and put themselves in a great spot as we move into the second half. All of 4 rounds for the G2 side. Obviously, pistol's going to be pretty important for them.
Yeah, what do we have? We've got the HE diffuse from Ali as well. Yeah, the HE diffuse seems more common in this game at least so far. All care blast for G2, and they're going to rush down Carrigan. Can he get away in time? See him skedaddling down the ramp. And Ali's there to lend a helping hands. He's getting the first kill there. Nico onto Shox. The bomb's still sitting in ramp at the moment. And FaZe are picking off more and more players here. This is getting scary for G2. Another player down, and the bomb is still not in a position to easily get a plant. It's on body at the moment. Last man standing does get the fragment to Ali, down to 12 now, and finished off by Rain. That sort of collapsed from G2 after they took ramp.
Yeah, this nuke may be brief unless G2 can win a force buy. The Tech-9s are coming out, and there's one flash onto Shox body. Will he pick something up? There's just one flash on this team. Pretty much a Tech-9 buy. One flash, one smoke. Is it an A play? Does the flash go through the ceiling? 4 people on the silo, so perhaps they're going for a fast play outside around the catwalk. Rain is in a good position, dropping off main into, off the roof into main rather. Rain has support as well, but he's not going to back off despite having 20 HP. He'll fall, but will his teammate trade for him? Kishima on the site cleaning up MBK and Shox, and that is a crisis averted. 3 rounds away now from victory, and G2 pretty much have to go for Nico.
When these two teams met on LAN in Kiev, it was a 2-1 victory for FaZe, but the interesting thing was that FaZe actually won all 6 pistols in that series, and here again on Nuke, they win both pistols. Have been losing a lot of anti-force by rounds there, as we see it. As we see, that was the case in the first half as well, but should be a 14-4 score line after this round, obviously putting FaZe in a great position to close this game out. Nico just tapping away, even with the UMP.
Oh,
that's what he does.
That reload time, man. That reload time. It's a shame, isn't it, Yanka? It's just a damn shame.
Damn shame,
Damn shame. Right, we've got the buy from G2 now coming in, or should be at least, just full AKs and nades, I'd imagine. And we have FaZe in a spot where they could take some risks. They could actually try to go 2 players aggressive outside. They could play really, really passively. There's all sorts of options available to them in this kind of a position. So I'm curious as to what they will choose. are they going to choose? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Okay, so 2 players here just on ramp at the beginning. Alu and Carrigan. G2 is sitting with a lot of players in radio at the moment. A lot of players in radio looking to explode out onto the ramp area. But we've got Alu going close here with Carrigan. They get absolutely destroyed.
Seems all the players are on the same wavelength towards the radio room. But the fight is most certainly won by the T's. Bomb planted. See if Kenny can get himself into a good position. Post-plant, indeed he can. Reina and Kiyoshima roaming, lurking, hunting.
Have utility, but no kit.
Indeed, but that Molotov, maybe even better. Kenny standing his ground, trying to fight, but he will die trying. And indeed, no kit. We've seen a 10-second defuse attempted by Shox in that very same position. But I think the bomb's already far too ticked. If Body just stays alive for another few seconds. I don't think so.
Wow.
Oh, it's going to be a close one.
I don't think he's got it.
I don't think he's got it.
Oh my god. Wow,
No!
that's so crazy. Oh my god, Rain.
With a 4K as well. And the hero defuse. The hero
So
defuse.
sick.
The bandana defuse.
He's got 27 kills, James. He has 27 kills.
It is insane that even a team like G2, which is one of the teams in the world that has the most firepower, surely cannot like get even close, cannot deal with FaZe when Rain and Nico are off. Like it's how difficult it is to play FaZe, and it is one of the main reasons. On top of the structure that they have with Carrigan, they just have crazy individual skill.
G2, they're not out of this one just yet. FaZe are fighting though, they've got the high ground and Alu's on the flank. That said, outside the high ground is in the control of G2, leaving Kiyoshima alone with a lot to do against his French brethren, and he won't do it on this occasion. 5th round on the board for the G2 team. 10 rounds to go, playing against match point. We've seen this happen before, but again, the percentages are very small for G2. FaZe with bad money situation at the moment, but they're going to buy up regardless. They've got their loss bonus to continue to rise. We'll see if Rain can get to 30 kills, and if, well, see if G2 can get to 10 rounds at this point, and then we'll take it from there. So 1st round in the first half, 2nd half rather. Maybe surprised by the buys. Rain with very patient bursting there, and quite a recent buy CTs. Rain with 2K, I mean why not? 29 kills now. Kiyoshima still holding down the A bomb site, and Nico's cleaning up, or looking to clean up the rest. If he continues, and he will, then that's going to be the end of the game. 16-5, dominating performance on Nuke by FaZe.
Well, how wrong were we saying that teams are... Actually, no, we actually said that teams are going to trade maps, so it's fine. Don't mind me. Yeah, not much to say about this game, unfortunately. In the first half, FaZe was in full control of the economy despite losing a couple of force buy rounds, anti-force buy rounds rather, and it was a case of G2 just getting decimated, losing fights all over the